thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I am your host, Dr. Angela Chester. Today, my guest is Dr. Robert L. Lawson. We are talking about greatness. Greatness awaits. Putting your dreams into action. That is also the title of his book. Now, helping people figure out specifically how they can get the most out of themselves is his passion as well. Because you know what we like to do here on the show. We want to enlighten, inspire, and empower you to become your best self, because Scripture reminds us that the tongue is a small thing that makes grand speeches, but a tiny spark can set a great forest on fire. And today we want to fire you up about the greatness that is inside of you. So let me tell you a little bit more about Dr. Lawson. Dr. Robert L. Lawson has been a high school and college instructor for the past 40 plus years. His undergraduate is in English with a minor in speech from the University of Rio Grande, a master's degree from Marshall University, where he specialized in 17th century literature, and has his doctorate from Nova Southeastern University in the field of educational administration. Dr. Lawson began his teaching career at Galileo University High School for 4 years before moving to Marshall University, where he worked as the director of continuing education for 13 years, and then on to Shawnee State University, where he held a similar position for 7 years. Now, in addition, he has taught at Georgetown Junior Senior High School, Chillicothe High School, and also served as an adjunct professor at Shawnee State University, Ohio University Chillicothe, and Ohio University Zanesville. Now, perhaps his most powerful contribution lies in his development of numerous curriculums for colleges, universities, and businesses in an effort to help others to empower themselves, their organizations, and their life outcomes through such courses as Achieving Excellence in the Classroom, Leadership, How to Stay Motivated to Win, Maximizing Your Potential, and numerous others. His most powerful gift lies in his ability to move others into action through his writing and speaking. His most recent book, Greatness Awaits, can be purchased through, of course, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and his video, Greatness Awaits by Dr. Robert L. Lawson, can be seen on YouTube. You guys know that I'm never going to bring an artist on the show or an author on the show that doesn't have their book available on Amazon. That is the number one spot that we can go, and I want to make it convenient for everyone, not only here in the States, but also our international listeners as well. So greatness awaits, and I can't wait to talk about it. Hello, Dr. Lawson. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me on the show today.
Well, Dr. Angela, I am absolutely thrilled to have an opportunity to be on your show and to talk with your audience.
Yes, and I think that they're going to be really fired up about this topic because everyone wants to be able to tap into their inner greatness. And for those who believe that they're already great, there's nothing wrong with a little refresher course, right? So that we can make sure that we're doing exactly what we need to be doing. I love it. Now, yes. In your book, if you will, and I want to kind of ask some behind-the-scenes questions about such a title. When you were writing your book, did you find that the title came first, or were you writing and the title kind of came to you?
Well, this book is actually a sequel to the first book. The first book that I wrote that had to deal with greatness was called Destined for Greatness. And I actually wrote a poem about that as well. And so this book has been a number of years in the making. I always wanted to follow it up, and the first one did so well that I just decided I wanted to do a second book. So I was already thinking pretty hard about the title and talking to people about how they can literally put their dreams into action. And obviously one of the keys is getting over the habit of procrastinating. And I was able to do that, and I like to do what it is for other people before I actually tell them to do it. And that's one of the things that prompted me to get the book written.
Mm-hmm. And doesn't that really and truly make a difference? Is that it's like you want to do a test run, or you want to be able to have really great conversation about it because you're not going to ask anyone else to do something that you wouldn't do yourself. I love that you said that.
I agree with that wholeheartedly. And what I tell people, one of the things that I really practice is I make an effort to be a trailblazer, and I want other people to be able to blaze their own trail and do what's relevant and beneficial for them. I actually have a poem that's called "Be a Trailblazer," and it kind of goes like this: when you have a passion inside of yourself that burns like a river on fire, you'll soon come to know that that deep inner glow is your heart that is filled with desire. When you think of how others can learn from your gift and you really are ready to share, you're going to know at the moment that you unveil your soul that you deeply and truly do care. And when you doubt that you have what it takes to succeed and fear tries to keep you in jail, acknowledge the martyrs who laid down their lives and remember they first had to fail. In order to win, you must first begin. Your ship must be set a sail. But if the path that you're on appears crowded at first, then just get out there and blaze a new trail. Oh, you can emulate others all throughout life, and you can follow whatever they do. But the genuine treasures of a quality life, they're the ones that lie buried in you. So it's time. It's time to network with people in life and to do what has never been done by mentoring, by molding, by modeling with others as they rise to their place in the sun. Whatever it takes is what you must do as you set your own ship a sail. But just remember, if the pathway seems crowded at first, then just get out there and blaze a new trail. And don't worry about the naysayers.
I love it. Don't worry about the naysayers. You just can't quite say that enough times. You can't quite say it loud enough. Don't worry about the naysayers. Oh, my goodness. Yes. And especially for people that kind of need that extra little nudge, you know, they really and truly, they need to hear you say that and to remind them. I'm a self-motivated type of personality, so I don't have to hear someone else say it, but I know that there are people who need for me to remind them the same way that you are reminding them, sometimes as a whisper, but sometimes you need to kind of say it as a coach, get that kind of rah-rah in your voice and like, come on, let's do it. So I love that. I love that. Now, when we're talking about goal setting, and I know that you also like to teach strategies and ways that you can do that. What is some important ways that people need to think about goal setting and strategy?
Well, the goal achievement process is exactly that. It's a process. And what individuals have to do, the first thing they have to do is identify what it is that you want to do, and then establish or set down a deadline for its achievement. And then basically determine what it is that's stopping you from moving ahead. And then make an effort to decide what skills, what talents, what abilities am I going to need in order to be able to do this, because people have to understand that they're not going to be able to do it alone. And then further up the ladder you go, you have to decide who it is that you're going to want to work with you, because you don't want just anybody working with you, because there are individuals that can become a part of your inner circle that can be destructive. So you have to kind of screen the types of individuals that you're going to be working with to find out whether or not they are going to complement your strengths instead of being ones who are in a position to detract from what it is that you really want to do. Then you put that solid action plan together, work that thing. I always tell people who fail to plan are planning to fail, because you have literally got to be able to have that plan in operation and put it in operation. And then the last step in that 7-step process is literally, you're going to be successful, so get ready to prepare and enjoy the benefits. And that's literally the 7-step goal achievement process that I teach in school. I teach it in college. when I'm doing a full-day training workshop or a seminar or a conference. Sometimes I will even, when individuals are looking for takeaways, and I see that they have their computers out, their tablets out, or pen and paper, I'm going to review that because I know that individuals are serious and they're going to be wanting to take notes to pull this information together so that they can do something that's constructive.
Yes, it's funny how, like you said, you can tell the people that are truly hungry for the information, and I don't mean that, hopefully it's not taken in a disrespectful way. I mean that they're there to learn, and they want to pick your brain, they want to have the conversation, they want to be the sponge, and they want to really learn everything that they possibly can for you. And you can really see it in certain people that they're hungry for that information, and it makes a difference. Now,
and they're the reason why I'm there. You know, regardless of how large the audience is, I'm there. You know, for those individuals who are ready to move success to the next level.
That's right. It's so interesting because when I first started off, I remember having seminars and 2 people would show up, and and it was like, well, ooh, praise the Lord, there's 2 people here. We're gonna go with 2 people, and you just have to kind of like, okay, let's go. And I said, but you know what? Hopefully I have changed the lives of those 2 people, that I was able to really pour something into them. And I get the same sense with you, that it doesn't matter if it's 2 people, 2,000 people, 200,000 people, you're still going to have the same energy. You're going to have the same presentation because you're really working to change the lives of other people.
And you have to maintain that, and you have to have that, and you have to be in it for that reason. You have to literally know exactly what your purpose is, because the more you know and understand your own purpose, then the more effective you're going to be able to be. I took a look at my mission statement that I had literally put together over 30 years ago because I was going to update it, modify it, change it. And then I went over it and I took a look at it, and I just recently had a print shop to put it on a card because I want my own personal card that I send out to individuals. And I looked at it and I said, you know what? There's nothing I want to change. And I wanted to share it with you. And what it is this. My desire is to see, touch, and inspire the hearts of people, making them aware of their worth and value to themselves and to others. That's what I do.
I absolutely love that. Well, Dr. Lawson, it's almost time for us to go to break, and I want to give you time to please share with us, where can people get a copy of your book, and how can they follow you online?
What you mentioned earlier, Amazon.com, of course, and then BarnesandNobles.com. And my book is published through Balboa Press. And you could also go to Robert Lawson 10, that's the number 10, robertlawson10.com, and because that's a website that I have up specifically for that book, and I do a little bit of blogging on there. Haven't done any for a while, but there are several that folks might enjoy reading. And then, of course, getting directly in touch with me, for books and or seminars for me to come to a particular area is rlawson68 at hotmail.com. I repeat, that is rlawson68 at hotmail.com.
All righty, listeners, you now know where to go. Let's take this very short break. We'll be back right after this. And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I am your host, Dr. Angela Chester. My guest today is Dr. Robert L. Lawson, and he has written the book, Greatness Awaits, Putting Your Dreams into Action. So today we are talking about the thing that I love to talk about, enlightenment, inspiring, empowering you, making you the person that you have always wanted to be. We're talking about helping people figure out specifically how they can get the most out of themselves. And who doesn't want to better themselves, right? We should constantly want to learn something so that we can make sure that we are the best us that we can possibly be. So, Dr. Lawson, what was your purpose or your reason behind writing this book?
Well, I would say that probably my biggest purpose or reason for writing the book was to keep other individuals inspired and motivated about their own both personal and professional dreams in terms of what it is that they have a desire that they want to achieve. And within the confines of the book, I spend a lot of time focusing on and talking about the whole concept of vision. Charles Swindoll, one of our top ministers in the country years ago, said a vision is essential for survival. It's spawned by faith, sustained by hope, and sparked by imagination. It's greater than sight. It's deeper than a dream, and it's broader than an idea. A vision is an incredible thing that individuals need to have and make an effort to develop if they don't have one. You have to put legs on what it is that you want to do. And the other piece of the rationale behind this is helping people to maintain that positive attitude of optimism because there's a sea of negativism out here. And I even put in the confines of my book, I literally put in the piece that's called optimism, the Optimist Creed. In other words, promise yourself to be so strong that nothing can disturb your peace of mind. So I spend a lot of time talking about why wait. God has not promised tomorrow, so do whatever it is that you can today. Take action on your reason, take action on your purpose, take action on the cause that you have if you really and truly want to make a difference in somebody else's life. And the clearer you are about what your purpose is, not my purpose, but what your purpose is, then the more effective it is that you're actually going to be. And one of the things that I like to tell people is that if you take a magnifying glass and shine it right into the center of a paper and you magnify the sun's rays, you are literally going to burn a hole right in that paper if you keep it steady and if you keep it manifest. And you don't have that magnifying glass going all over the place. So what I mean by that is learning to focus and stay on your course of action is the thing that is literally going to help you to achieve what you want to achieve in spite of the odds that are stacked against you.
Now, for your book, and maybe we could even kind of broaden it out a little bit if there is a difference. If you're doing a seminar or you are doing a speaking engagement and also talking about your book, who do you believe is like your target audience? Who are your presentations perfect for?
We'll have different presentations for different audiences. So the first thing that I would have to do, is to take a look at who's in the room, what the age levels are, and spend time thinking about what the background of those individuals might consist of. And it's not really that difficult to do. If it's at the corporate level, or if it's a conference for women, then I would want you to, let's just go there for a moment, because if it's a conference for women, then what I want to do is, I haven't just looked at one particular bailiwick to get information. I'm going to be able to tell them information regarding individuals like Eleanor Roosevelt, who said, the future belongs to those who believe in the beauty of their dreams, because people will look at me and wonder, well, what is it that you know about women? Who have you read? Ella Fitzgerald, and all these different things. So I'm going to drop a few names and give them things like books that talk about beyond power, and so on and so forth, so that folks can understand that, oh wow, not only have you read male literature, but you've also read women's literature. You know something about children's literature. You know, if I'm talking to a group of high school students or a group of college students, I want it to be situation specific. You know, I'm getting ready to do a program this fall at my alma mater at the University of Rio Grande, and I'll give Mano and T-Pain kudos on this because literally they're the ones that came up with the song called All the Above. But I'm going to tell you right now, when I hit the stage, I'm going to look at all the students, because we're talking about somewhere between 600 to 1,000, and I'm going to say, tell me, what do you see when you looking at me? See me come up from nothing to me living my dreams. I done been to the bottom. I done suffered a lot. I deserve to be rich, headed straight to the top. Look how I rock with the block. Look how I rep for the hood. I get nothing but love now when I come to the hood, getting this fortune and fame. Money ain't going to shame. The new Benz is all white. Call it John McCain. How the world could you stop me? Why the world would you try? I go hard forever. That's just how I'm designed. That's just how I was built. You see this look in my eye? You take all of this from me, and I'm still going to survive. You get truth from me, but these rappers go lie. I'm a part of these streets until the day that I die. I wave high to the haters. Now that I finally done made it, take a look, and you can tell that I am destined for greatness. You see? Because that fits right in with the title of my book. And I wrote that book 20 years before they ever came out with the song. So when I heard the song, I said, no. That's my stuff. I'm ready.
I love it. Yes. And like you said, it makes it really hit home for them. And they realize that you've taken the time to not just to speak over their heads, but to speak to them. Not to speak down to them, but to speak to them. And that, oh my gosh, that is awesome.
Well, you can't tell me that this stuff doesn't work, because the first, I've already shocked students that walk into my classroom. You know, over the years, they're like, dude, you got to be kidding me. You are 68 years old, and you can rap like that? Are you kidding me? And I'm right back at them. I'm like, yeah, you just saw me do this. I'm just an old guy, and you got your whole future ahead of you. What can you do? What can you not do?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I mean, they know I got game. And by the time I get finished with them, they got game too.
That's right. I love it. And, you know, you're going to be one of those people that when they go on to be their greatest selves and they are giving that acceptance speech for whatever it is that they have received, they're going to say, you know, there was a man that made a difference in my life, and I want to give a shout out to Dr. Lawson. Thank you for, you know, that push. Thank you. Because we always have that one teacher or that one speaker, that one book that we can go back and reference and say, my life changed at this particular moment, or it was because this person told me that I could, or they reminded me to just keep trying, or they did something that was fun and exciting, and it allows you to look at your world from a totally different perspective. And I think that you're going to definitely change your lives. Because if we think about it, we're still talking about that commencement speech that Steve Jobs did, and this was quite some time, because I mean he's passed away and it's been a while, but we're still talking about how he just laid it out there plain for everyone, and that those students have used those words to guide them on to their greatness. Now, speaking of that, are there any specific examples that you can think of that someone gave you the moment that you're about to give to that student? Do you have any personal moments that you remember that someone said something to you, gave you something, or did something that you said, whoa, and your life kind of changed from that moment?
Yeah, I have. There are so many things in my life, literally, that have happened, you know, from the time that I literally came into this world. You know, I think one of the reasons why I got into language in the first place was I had an aunt by the name of Nora Faye Lawson, and she pretty much raised me, she and my grandmother, from the time that I was 9 days old. And she was always reciting poetry to me when I was a kid. And one of the most powerful poems that she ever recited to me was The Psalm of Life by Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. And the poem, I won't do the whole thing, but I'll give you a couple of stanzas just so you know the impact and the power of it. You probably already know it anyway. But anyhow, it goes, "Tell me not in mournful numbers life is but an empty dream, for the soul is dead that slumbers, and things are not what they may seem. Life is real, life is earnest, and the grave is not its goal. Dust thou art, to dust returneth, was not spoken of the soul." I've never forgotten that. I've never forgotten the cadence. I've never forgotten the rhythm. And I have literally, for the past 40-some years, have taken it. And it's a gift, to be able to do that, to be able to recite poetry in front of kids. And they're just mesmerized by that. In fact, on Facebook, I do a little. It's not that hard to find me on Facebook. Just there are a number of Robert Lawsons out there, but I'm the one that wrote Greatness Awaits, and it won't be that difficult for people to find me. But there was a student who, you were asking about stuff like that. There was a student who really got in touch with me and said that he remembered something in a class, and he had gone on. He was in junior high when I had him. But I recited, and I know you're familiar with this, the Creation by James Weldon Johnson, out of a book called God's Trombones. It was written in 1927. This kid was in junior high. Well, I had no idea, and he just got in touch with me like 3 or 4 days ago. And he said, "Doc," he says, "I probably should have contacted you long before now, but I just wanted you to know that I have spent the last 30 years as a professional radio broadcaster, and I wanted to thank you as one of the most influential people in my life." He said, "It's kind of amazing, but when you think back to 44 years ago, that there is a moment that you would remember." And he said, "I will never forget the enthusiasm with which you shared that information to the class." And I was just blown away. That kind of stuff just puts me in tears.
It really does. I love those moments, and I'm so glad that people recognize sometimes that they need to share, and that it's okay to do just that. Well, speaking of sharing, it is time for us to share with our listeners here. Where can, Dr. Lawson, please, where can they find a copy of your book, and how do they follow you online?
Okay, well, again, go to Amazon.com or BarnesandNobles.com or Robert Lawson 10, that's the number 10, RobertLawson10.com, or just email me at rlawson68@hotmail.com. And again, I'm on Facebook and accepting friends all the time.
All righty, listeners, we'll be back right after this.
Smell Good Spa, for the women who are making a conscientious change in their personal care products. Specializing in signature fragrance oils, hand-dipped incense, and wholesome bath and body and personal care products. Smell Good Spa. Use code HELLO25 for 25% off your order. Live good, feel good, smell good wholesomely. SmellGoodSpa.com.
Hi everyone, Dr. Angela here. Did you know that Daily Spark is now on Facebook? That's right, you can visit with me at facebook.com/Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I want to know more about what you're thinking. I'd love to know which interview did you find the most entertaining or the most informative. I want to talk to you, and I want you to be able to talk to me. Simply visit facebook.com/Daily Spark with Dr. Angela.
And we are back. Thank you so much for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. I am your host, Dr. Angela Butch-Chester. My guest today is Dr. Robert L. Lawson. We're talking about the greatness that is within you today. His book, Greatness Awaits, Putting Your Dreams into Action. So we want to help you be the best you that you can possibly be. So, Dr. Lawson, are there any specific chapters in your book that you feel were written to inspire people more so than any others? Or do you think that the entire book is just a chapter after chapter of motivation and inspiration?
Well, that's a great question. I'm not going to say that it's a hard question to answer, but I like it. I wrote the book, and I like, every single chapter literally that's in the book, because there's probably a different concept that I spend time talking about. So if I could, I'd like to just share the fact that for those individuals who enjoy poetry, there are a few poems in here, not a lot. There's a chapter on purpose and focus. There's a poem called The Run for the Gold. There's also a chapter on faith, because I ran across an awesome quote by a lady by the name of Ellen Cuomo years ago, and I put it to memory. I won't share the whole thing, but it says, faith is risking what is for what is yet to be. It's taking small steps knowing that they lead to bigger ones. It's holding on when you want to let go, and it's letting go when you want to hold on, because you have to be able to step where the foundation is not firm enough to hold and know that you're still going to be okay. There is nothing to be gained if people don't take the initiative to do things that they've never done before. So I encourage people to step out there. And I encourage them to take the leadership. Leadership is it's not just about saying, it's also about doing. And I'm big on telling people and sharing with people that they have to get to a point in their lives where they have what I call no limit thinking. Take the I am out of impossible and make it possible. So, and then there's a chapter on consistency. Anthony Robbins, one of my favorite people to follow over the years, has this expression. He says, anything that you consistently improve, you're going to wind up dominating. And I think that's very, very powerful. The more skilled, the more adept you become at what it is that you do, whether you are a Tiger Woods, a Serena Williams, or someone else, that's a very high profile. This information is not just relevant to the best athletes in the country like LeBron James and Michael Jordan, but the average individual can also apply the same principles to his or her life.
That's right.
So in order for us to be able to break through, because I have a chapter on reflective thinking, breaking through, drive, having that inner ability, the rhythm of life, maximizing your potential, and then understanding that enthusiasm is something that ignites greatness. My favorite writer, Ralph Waldo Emerson, once said, nothing great was ever accomplished without enthusiasm, because enthusiasm comes from the Greek word entheos, and the literal translation means God within. So it has a spiritual connotation to it. And if you look at the last four letters of enthusiasm, the I and the A and the S and the M could possibly form an acrostic that says, I am sold myself. So here's the point. The point is, if you're 100% sold on something yourself that you believe in, look how much easier it's going to be to convince somebody else about what it is that you believe, because you're sold on it yourself.
Because you're sold on it yourself. I like that. Now, Dr. Lawson, there may be someone who kind of joined the program a little bit later. Welcome, just the same. And I want for them to know, is this a one-off, Greatness Awaits Putting Your Dreams into Action? Is this your first book? Is this a one-off, or have you written some other books?
Yeah, I have. I have written a plethora or a myriad or a number of books. And I'll share some of the book titles with you, because if individuals do decide that they want to purchase this one and decide that they love the style and the format, then they're also going to like certain things like I wrote a book back in 2010 that's called Dare to Be a Millionaire, and it's all about the easy system that I've set up called ESIE, Earn, Save, Invest, and Eliminate Debt. So we look at that. There's another one that's called the Gamer, which if you don't mind, I'll share a little bit of something that's in that book. It's based on a poem that I wrote, and it goes like this. Let's just say that there's a woman, who's sitting in the audience, and I'm speaking to a whole group of women. I might, if I'm addressing a group of men, I'll change the pronoun to male gender. But if I'm addressing women, then I'm going to go with female gender. So I will say, here's the gamer and here's the book. But here's the poem. She smiled with quiet confidence. She knew what they did not. Her plan was to acquire the goal that all the others sought. She led by taking action while others talked their game. She knew that she could get things done without a thought of fame. She rose each day with purpose. She focused on her plan. Her daily affirmations were, I will, and yes, I can. Oh, you cannot stop the gamer when her powerful mind is set. For the things for which she strives are the things that she will get. There's power in believing if you first convince your mind and make the firm commitment to complete the massive grind. The task, they're somewhat arduous, this much we know for sure. Yet victory will always go to those who long endure. The courage it takes to stand when others turn about is the fuel that drives the gamers as they focus on their route. And when the task is finished and all the work is done, you can shout with admiration that the gamer's number one. And any young girl, any young boy, any middle-aged man, any old individual who thinks that life is almost over can all of a sudden be revitalized, because no matter what I say or no matter what you say, no matter what they say, their time on this earth is not up until God says it is.
That's right. So don't sit around wasting your time.
No.
Get out there and make it happen. Yeah.
Make life happen. Every single day. There are really, and I tell people this in seminars, and it gets a big laugh. There are basically three kinds of people in life. There are people who make things happen. There are people who watch things happen. And then there's this other group way over yonder there who always wonders, what happened? And so what I have to tell people is that they have to figure out, you have to figure out into which of those three groups do you fit. And there's even another group out there that is, they're the ones, we talk about them every once in a while too. I've recently learned that there's another group out there, and that's a group that's always set up to try to prevent things from happening.
Yeah, that is so true.
Oh, my goodness.
That is so true. It's like, man, you need to, and talking to those people, it's like you really need to get a different job, because the people that are the go-getters, the people that are really going to make something happen, you're not going to stop them. You may put, a momentary roadblock, like a little pothole or a little bump in the road, but they're not going to stop. They're really not,
Right.
So it is so true.
Well, I don't know why it is, that people want to spend their time, their energy, and effort trying to stop those individuals who are doing something with their lives. When they need, they would be so much happier and so much more productive if they just got on with their lives and stopped worrying about what other people are doing.
Right. If you don't want to do it, fine. That's your right. But you shouldn't try to stop someone else from being as great as they could be, walking in their purpose. Just because it's something that you don't want to do. And I mean, I have had people in my own life tell me that. I remember when I first moved to California, which was almost 20 years ago, and they said, "Oh, I can't believe that you want to move to California. You're not going to like it there. It's going to be horrible. It's going to be culture shock." And I just said, oh, okay, well, thanks for that, and just trying to, get past the moment. And then you have people, oh, yeah, I went to San Diego, and this happened, or I went to San Francisco, and I'm going, well, I'm going to Long Beach, so that's a different city, but okay, Make a long story short, it's like, I've been there for almost 20 years, and it's like, that was your story. That was your experience. And even though I know that people were trying to they were trying to give me like a word of wisdom and, be careful and don't do this and don't do that. I said, well, I know that this is where I'm supposed to be, and this is what I need to do. Thank you, and I respect your words. I mean, I respect who you are, but your words are not going to keep me from going, because I know that this is a part of my purpose. And now whenever I come back, because I'm originally from Virginia, whenever I come back, it's like, oh my gosh, there's little Miss California. I'm so proud of you. And it's like, yeah. Or that one guy that's like, yeah, I knew you were going to go out there and, just be as awesome as you are. I knew it all along. And you're going, wait a minute, you were on the naysayer list. What are you talking about? So people are so funny. They really and truly do that. And I think it's interesting that they do. Well, go ahead.
You'll appreciate this, even though I'm an Ohio boy, I just want you to know that I have been out there on the West Coast, and I do know where. I know where Long Beach, California is, and here's how you're going to know whether I'm telling the truth or not, because that's where the Queen Mary's docked.
Yes. And I am right downtown. Yes,
there you
absolutely.
Go. And I have been on that thing. That's like 3 football fields.
It is,
it's huge.
And it is a huge boat, but it is beautiful. It absolutely is. It really and truly is. And I get to see the Queen every morning when I wake up and start my day, and it is a beautiful sight. So yes, absolutely. Thanks for mentioning that. It's like, yay!
Well, absolutely. And see, that's another way that people are actually able to build a camaraderie in terms of what it is that they actually have in common and what they can talk about. People have to figure out, what the connections are.
And that reminds me of that beautiful poem, and I won't say it all, by Maya Angelou, that says, we are more alike, my friend, than we are unalike, and it's like at the end of the day, there are very specific things that may affect us in a particular way, but we all want to, live in a safe place. We all want to have great families. We all want to enjoy life and just be loved and to be able to be the best, people that we can be. And if we could kind of unite on those things, then I think that it would make the world definitely a better place. Well, I have to end it on that note. We are out of time, but Dr. Lawson, I tell you, I have so enjoyed my time with you today, and I think our listeners can definitely tell that we had a great time on this interview today, and I hope that they had a great time listening in and spending time with us. Thank you so much for being on the show today.
Well, you're very welcome. Thank you very much, Dr. Angela, for having me as a guest on your show, and I look forward to many additional positive interactions.
Yes, thank you so much. And listeners, thank you as well for joining me for Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. Now, you guys know that not only can you keep up with Dr. Lawson, but you can also keep up with myself, Daily Spark, on Facebook. Visit facebook.com/Daily Spark with Dr. Angela. We want to know what you enjoyed about this particular episode. And, of course, we will have more information about Dr. Lawson there as well. Until next time, everyone, may God's grace and mercy follow you throughout your day, and may He continue to shine His light upon you. Until next time, everyone, stay awesome. Bye-bye.